you know, that's a classic example. I mean, all of these composers would write these essentially graphic scores for this great pianist who was obviously a brilliant mind and went on to create numerous electronic instruments of his own. And if you actually look on in the archives, the Tudor archives, I mean, he gets these kinds of graphic scores from these composers, and he actually then takes the score and then writes out himself what he should play for the piece. Yeah. So he writes out his interpretation in notation. And so at that point, you're kind of wondering, well, who's actually making the music? So, yeah, I mean, politically speaking, it's very complicated, but for the record, this is registered with APRA 5 ways. So.
I can speak in the microphone, and I can process immediately with the tape. Go t'asseoir.
It's of course something I can do with the sound coming from the drum.
A lot of early music people play Renaissance quartets on that kind of thing. But for me, I have stuck a microphone on the front, a microphone inside, and I have a microphone here at the back to pick up any articulation ideas. Along with that, I have some sensors attached. So there's a slide sensor up here, some triggering sensors on the back, and the highly evolved sensor of a mouse operated by my right toe. And all these things speak to the computer. And the reason I've come up with this setup, I really wanted to, similar to Jerome, I was very excited about expanding the very limited timbral sound of the recorder into electroacoustic sphere, because it's an incredible instrument, but you have to capture those very microsonic sounds and manipulate them here. But my absolute rule for how I set it up was that I could switch immediately from the computer processing to it not processing. So it was very possible to have a really fast response between acoustic sound and